friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction being yo 692. In that neighborhood, my brothers and sisters. It is Wednesday once again, my friends. So y'all know who we're about to go back to. Mike from that chapter. It is always a delight when we get to go back to Mike. And the title of the video is Killer's Obsession Fuels Horrifying Secret of Mom's Disappearance. Now what that is this man obsessed over that will make him kill his mama being teen? I don't know, but we're about to see. But before we see, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need, please. It is another That Chapter Wednesday. Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all ready to go? Then let's go.
You know, it was so stupid. I was just trying to make a joke, but I hugged her behind her and I said, "You don't want to end up like that in between them, do you?" And I know that was really bad. That was a really stupid joke. It was literally just a joke, and it was just, it's, you know.
Yeah, it's not a very good joke.
I know, and it makes me look bad. I get that.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this sole video, we are going to look into the strange, disappearance and the disturbing investigation, because it's top tier disturbing, into what happened to one Madeline Kingsbury. But before we get into all of that, please subscribe to see new stories for the dark every single week. Now, you and I, let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go. And get whatever you may need. And I'm already just intrigued by why he was saying it was a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke. Is that his reasoning behind killing his mama? He was playing a joke in some kind of way. He created a big boo-boo that ended her life. I don't know, man. That right there just already sounds like some complete BS to me. Let's give it a go.
On the last Friday in March of 2023, it was sort of an odd day. It was one of them. It's weird. Oh, it's Friday, right? Everybody's already halfway out the door, and as it's, it's springtime, the trees outside, they're shaking off their last little bits of snow. Temperature's starting to raise a little bit. You can start planning some more of those good old outdoor activities. And this Friday in particular, one person was trying to call someone to try and arrange just that. It was a woman named Krista, and she was trying to contact her daughter, Madeline. She couldn't reach her on the phone. Madeline lived in this small city in southeast Minnesota called Winona. She tried Madeline's sister, Megan, and Megan replied with the very same. This Friday evening, Madeline wasn't responding to texts nor calls. They then reached out to Adam, Madeline's partner. They weren't married but lived together and had kids together. Adam replied he hadn't seen Maddie, either Maddie as she was known, since that very morning when Adam and Maddie had dropped their children off at daycare at around 8 a.m. Then they'd gone their separate ways. Come that evening, Adam wasn't actually in the home. He had wrestled up the kids and headed to his folks' home in a town called Mabel. Okay, so then Megan calls a friend of Maddie's, asking her, could you go maybe just check on her? Megan, her mother, and now Adam, none of them were actually in Winona. So Megan calls his friend, would you mind just popping over to Maddie's house, giving her a little knock knock, see if she's around. She's not answering, You know, her sister, her mom, her partner, nobody. She's not answering the phone to nobody. So the friend hops over to Madeline's, has a go around the place, sees that the house is pitch black, nothing there, but she sees Maddie's minivan is still right out there. So, has a look around, nothing on the phone, gives her an old knock knock. No sign of life inside that house. So nobody had any clue where Maddie Kingsbury was. It was at this point they decided to get the Winona Police Department involved, and a call was made to them at 8:20 p.m. that Friday, March 31st, 2023. This next section I'm going to read out is directly from the initial police report. The friend reported to police that she was concerned with the health and safety of Madeline. According to the friend, Madeline had not attempted to contact or communicate with her throughout the day, which the friend indicated was unusual. The friend was concerned and had gone to Madeline's residence, saw her minivan in the driveway and knocked on the door, and no one responded. The friend also told police that she was aware that Madeline was having issues with her significant other, who also lived in the residence. The friend identified the significant other as Adam Fravel. Winona police officers met the friend at Madeline's residence located in Winona County, Minnesota. An officer knocked on the door of the residence and looked in the windows. No one responded, and the officer did not see anyone inside. A Winona police officer spoke with Adam Taylor Fravel, DOB 0129-1994, by telephone. Listen up, big dog. This is that call.
Adam Fravel.
Okay. So Adam, I'm sure you're aware of what's all going on. Some people called about Madeline a little concerned, and we're just trying to get an idea of where she might be.
Yes.
When's the last time you heard from her or anything like that?
Yeah, so this morning when I last heard from her, so that's why personally I wasn't very concerned yet.
What time about was that?
Probably around 10.
10 a.m.? I think it was
I
your...
took 2 things of melatonin. I apologize if I sound groggy.
No, you're right. But was she supposed to pick up the children today?
Yes, usually, so we usually do drop-offs and pickups together. And this morning we both did the drop-off, and I couldn't get any response from her since before 10 or whatever, and I tried calling her. We usually pick up the kids around 4:15, and I tried calling her a bunch of times, I think 3:30 and like 3:45 and 4, and I didn't get any response, so I just picked up the kids myself.
You know anybody in town she might be with? Any clubs or organizations she's affiliated with?
Not clubs or anything.
Does she do it like a weekly thing, like a girls' night out or anything like that, usually?
No, nothing like that.
Anywhere else in town you think she might be?
At this time at night, no.
Does she ever go to the bars at all?
No, we're not drinkers at all.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I think he was telling the truth pretty much through that whole phone call that officer just had with him. You know what I'm saying, man? But the thing that make him kind of look guilty is effed up that all of a sudden, out of coincidence, this is the day you choose to go out of town with your children when your girlfriend, baby mama is missing, then went missing the same day she went missing, and the same day you decided to go out of town to, I think, his parents' home or something, a different town over or whatever. That's the one thing that kind of make him look suspicious more than anything. But if we read the title again, right, Bean Team, Killer's Obsession Fuels Horrifying Secret of Mom's Disappearance. So I'm thinking that it got to be one of her children, right? Or all her children little babies. I don't know. It's getting crazy. Let's just keep going.
It's been 9 days since Madeline Kingsbury was reported missing. The Fillmore County community and surrounding areas are coming together to bring her home.
We love her, and we could figure out anything and get through anything together. And we want her back, and we're not going to stop.
Madeline Jane Kingsbury was born June 1st, 1996, a local of the town of Winona. Youngest child to David and Krista, with older sister Megan and older brother Stephen. From an early age, Maddie made quite a big impact on those around her. A happy, bubbly child who, even from her very first steps, people knew she was gonna go far. And as she grew up more and more, always there for those around her, whether it was, a shoulder to cry on, somebody to celebrate with, or someone a co-conspirator for getting up to no good with. Maddie Kingsbury up to no good as usual, but usually also up to good. After high school graduation, she attended, where else, but Winona State University, home of the Warriors. And there, she was a popular student. That's one thing that no matter where Maddie ended up, she was popular and well-liked by those around her. After graduating university, she went to work at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, as a clinical research coordinator. I don't know what those words mean, but they sound very smart to a fella like this guy. Maybe to you too. I know my audience. She was an impressive woman, and when she wasn't even doing that, she was spending her time getting her education on. She was at the University of Minnesota studying public health administration, their master's program. She wasn't one to just, let life happen. She was gonna go out there and she was gonna get after it. And you know what they say? YOLO. People still say that. This was all by the age of 26 years old. And get this, she had 2 kids at home the entire time. Impressive is putting it lightly in just how ambitious, kind, thoughtful, intelligent, and charming she was. But, booty, she did have a ball and chain, and that ball and chain's name was, you've already heard it, Adam Fravel, if you can believe that. He was dragging her down, and she was gonna fly high. He was gonna sink like a stone or something. He kind of looks like a stone. Or an egg. See, during her time at Winona State University, home of the Warriors, Maddie met Adam Fravel, who he himself was studying clackety-clackety. He was studying management information systems, which I feel like that's just 3 random words. While at college, Maddie got pregnant with their first child, and so they decided to stick it out together. Adam dropping out of school and going on to work in advertising. Not like the Don Draper side though, more like the SEO, online, data-driven side. And he would do this for a number of years. However, he would do that come spring 2020 when, his job was lost from him. Because of something that happened in spring 2020. Thinking about it? No, can't think of it. Let's move on to right back where we were. 2020 was a busy time for both Maddie and Adam, who lived together. They had 2 kids together, Maddie working at the Mayo Clinic while also doing a master's program. Adam, having lost his job as a result of the pandemic, is kind of sitting at home and is a bit of a stay-at-home dad. Maddie was the breadwinner, so that's likely why she went back to do this, master's program. Double the bread, invest in yourself, your bad self, invest in your future. Adam himself was thinking of pilot school. He was taking little lessons to go and, fly up, soar as high as Maddie was, frankly. But I do have to say this. When I say Adam Fravel was a stay-at-home dad, I kind of mean that in the technical. Technically, he was a stay-at-home dad. He didn't have a job, so he stayed at home playing video games all day. And technically, yes. And technically, he was a father. Yes. But stay-at-home dad in the way you probably think, he was not that at all. He didn't do shit. He was basically like a third child for Maddie to look after.
Wow.
And he was also a turd too. Things between them hadn't been good for a while. They'd sort of been on again, off again. But when you're living together, it's hard to make that off stay off. And so this wasn't going to end well. Maddie was busting her ass. Adam, he didn't clean up the home. He didn't help with the kids. He didn't really act at all like he loved Maddie. He didn't do jack shit. He was a waster. And Maddie was wasting her time on him. But she did care for him, love him, and she was all he had.
Yeah, man, Maddie is wasting her time on this trifling, no good for nothing, big, overgrown ass man. You know what I'm saying? Mike started to really started to tell us no, this ain't just your stay at home wife or stay at home husband that keep the house clean and cook and make sure the kids, on schedule and they all nice and clean and the whole rooms and the whole 9. No, this is a grown up who probably be sitting on the goddamn couch from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. seriously eating Doritos and playing goddamn Xbox and PlayStation. not doing shit, not paying attention. She go to work all day, put in all that time at work, and she had a nice job and was even advancing even more, getting her masters and all that. You know what I'm saying? Nice career and all that. The breadwinner, putting in the work, and she walk out that door that morning, your ass sitting on the couch. She come back that later on that night, your ass still sitting on the couch. Ain't changed your drawers or nothing. That's the type dude this was, man. But I get why she kind of like stayed with him because of the kids. Like, it's different when he is her baby daddy though. But I hate that she even got herself into this situation. I had to get that out real quick. Let's go.
Get this, right? One time in 2020, Maddie was on FaceTime, like video calling with a friend of hers, yapping away about this and that, when all of a sudden Adam comes up behind her and starts yelling at her, demanding to know why the house is in a state, right? It's a kip. And Maddie is like, well, you know, you don't have a job, so maybe you could clean it up. Adam smacks her across the face. She was still on FaceTime during this entire thing, and this friend would say it wasn't the only time they'd seen him be violent, or, you know, they had seen Maddie with bruises on her from time to time. Then,
now I take back what I said earlier about I can understand why she would be still with him because of the kids. No, when he started putting hands on you, you got to go. You got to go. No ifs, ands, or buts. Once the relationship get physical like that, you gotta leave him. Because it ain't gonna get better. It's only gonna get worse.
come March 31st, 2023, Maddie vanishes.
It has been now nearly 2 weeks since Madeline Kingsbury disappeared.
Just last weekend, more than 2,000 people volunteered in the search for Maddie as law enforcement continues to call her disappearance involuntary and suspicious. In a Wednesday statement, Winona police said in part, "We remain extremely concerned for her safety. We've drafted and served numerous search warrants. We are receiving dozens of tips a day through Crime Stoppers." Also releasing a statement, Maddie's family members said they are overwhelmed and forever changed by this waking nightmare.
The police investigation began while people combed through the surrounding countryside, hoping to find her. On April 1st, the police searched Maddie and Adam's home. They found a cluttered house, but nothing out of the ordinary, and no signs of a struggle of any nature. They did gain access to Maddie's phone database and found that the last message sent from her phone was around 8:15 a.m., which was right after Maddie and Adam dropped their kids off at daycare. See the story, Adam's story. It went like this, and Adam, when he was, questioned by the police on the April 1st and April 2nd, he fully admitted things were not going good between them. They had been off again, on again for about 7 years by this time. And after 7 years, lads, come on, at that stage you should know, shit or get off the pot at that point. Are we doing this or are we no? And it was a no. It looked like they were actually going to break up finally for the last time. Maddie had even started Googling, looking for houses, apartments in Winona for herself and the kids. She was going to move out. Adam, who cares? He's probably going to move back with his parents or something. And to get this for like the third time, Maddie had started seeing a new man. This guy was named Spencer. He had known Maddie since good old Winona State University, home of the Warriors days. He had been there, they'd been friends, and now they'd kind of sort of reconnected these years later. The thing about Spencer was that he had actually been in the same fraternity Adam had been in when he had been at the university, home of the Warriors. He didn't know Adam though. They weren't like friends. They sort of just knew each other by sight. But Spencer would find out a lot about Adam via Maddie. That morning, at around 8 a.m., they dropped the kids off, then they drove home together. This is the story Adam told. Maddie said she had a meeting that morning, and then would drive to Rochester for work. Adam, meanwhile, was going to be going over and back to his parents' place, and also a storage unit, to store items and whatnot. I'd say they likely would be leaving the house soon due to the breakup. He was going to use Maddie's minivan as it was bigger than his own vehicle, and he told Maddie this. She said she would take his car when she had to go to work, and he packed it all up. He began driving towards his parents' home in Mabel. And as he was passing through the town of Choice, he the stuff in the back of the minivan, this is not the stuff he's supposed to take to his parents' house. This is the stuff he's supposed to take to a storage unit. Silly Adam. At it again. So, spin the minivan around, went home, and arrived back at his house around 11:30 a.m. Went inside, started unloading the minivan, but saw that Maddie was not. She was not in the home at 11:30 a.m. But he thought it was weird because his car was still parked up out front, and Maddie said she was going to use his car to get to work. But he assumed she had done what she had done a few other times before, which was carpool. Get a lift, get a ride to Rochester, so he didn't really think too much of it. He was texting her a few times throughout the day. How you doing? What's the crack? What's going on? Yada yada yada. Zero response. Much like, by this stage, Maddie's sister, her mom, her friend, they also were getting no response to any text messages by this time. He's then texting her asking, hey, you were supposed to pick up the kids later on, but now you're not responding to any of my messages. So Adam then, he picks up the kids that late afternoon, and then he takes them to his parents' house in the city of Mabel, about an hour south of Winona.
I left the house around 10 to bring some stuff down to my parents. And then when I came back home, I noticed that my car was still there. She was going to take my car to work today, and my car was still there. And she wasn't there. That's the last I saw from her. And then I tried texting her, tried calling her, and I haven't heard anything since.
And you had the van today, correct?
Yep.
And
Yep, I was hauling stuff down to my parents.
Gotcha. And your car was still there, and you now have your car, correct?
Correct.
So does she usually ride with anybody to work, or is there anybody she could be with right now?
She doesn't usually ride with anybody to work, but she has before. She has a couple co-workers in Winona. So that's what I figured she did. But I don't know.
I just gotta say, Bean Team, I feel like a damn fool right now. Long story short, story long, because I know y'all remember a couple of minutes ago when we first heard him talking to the police. I was like, you know what? I believe everything he was saying. Well, guess what? Now I don't believe shit he's saying, man. Hey, after we done found out really about Adam and Ish, and then the title, y'all, I was focused on the title. It say Secrets of Mom's Disappearance. So I'm thinking that one of her children did this to her. But I'm thinking it's Adam now. It gotta be Adam, right? And all this is look so staged to me now. Everything just look. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Like seriously, I can see it clearly. Like him sending all them text messages, just the little things he was saying. No, man. Now I think it's Adam. I still could be wrong on that one too. Let's keep going and find out. This is a good one.
While neighbors, friends, and the citizens of Winona searched the surrounding countryside, it was Megan, Maddie's sister, who took to TikTok and made this case from a local one to a national story.
TikTok, I need you to do your thing. I need your help. This is my sister, Madeline Kingsbury. She's missing. This is just very basic info that we've put on flyers and things around town. Pause if you need to read more. Yeah, so that's the basics. This is a good picture of her, how she looks now, short hair, etc. I'm just gonna leave that in the background.
Posting again and again, asking for help, and really keeping the pressure on and this story in the spotlight.
We just want to keep her name and her face in the forefront of people's minds. We're not going to give up on this. We're not going to let Madeline and this investigation, it's not going to slip through the cracks.
Megan and Maddie were extremely close. The only thing they ever actually fought about was, Adam. She chronicled the ordeal on TikTok.
I am just kind of updating with what I can right now. We had a massive turnout for the search. All right, it is Thursday, right? April 13th. Still have not found my sister Madeline. It's about 1:30. I was out searching with my mom for, what time are we? probably about 3 hours around Winona and then crossing over just into the border of Wisconsin on 35. Didn't find anything, but we've been out looking. Don't really have any other updates.
Keeping Maddie's name in the news, updates on the search, and how to help. She posted TikToks almost every single day to a growing audience of thousands.
Thank you all for the continued support. It means a lot. It's Easter Sunday and my sister is still missing. We just can't figure out where she is.
She did this for months, making sure no one would forget or let this case slide in any way whatsoever.
I really miss her a lot. Anyway, I was just feeling kind of lonely, so I just wanted to say hey. You know. Yeah, I don't have anything else. That's it. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
So police believed her to be missing. No one had contacted her. They knew well by now that she had a disturbing history with her deadbeat dipshit on again, off again boyfriend. But in the house, which is where she was last known to be, there was no signs of foul play, struggle, violence at all. It was entirely possible. I mean, at this point, from the police's point of view, it was entirely possible that she just left of her own accord. Though how insanely out of character that would be is off the charts. And she'd left her phone, her wallet, her ID, all her shit. She left it at home.
What? Yeah, like, come on, policeman, Mr. Policeman. Like, seriously, if she was to just up and leave, do you seriously think she would leave literally everything behind but the clothes that she have on her back? Come on, man.
What happened after they dropped the kids off at school? Because, after all they had was Adam's word. And his word was that she was there. He left, drove 45 minutes south to the town of Choice. Then he realized he made a mistake, drove the 45 minutes back to Winona, and she was gone. All of this happening before 11:30 a.m., according to Adam. But remember, the last non-Adam contact with Maddie was at like 8:15 a.m. when she sent her last text message.
I'll ask again, do you know where Maddie is? Did you have anything to do with her disappearance?
I do not.
Okay. I just think you're dealing with a lot here. I think you've been dealing with a lot here. You have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old together. So I think something happened in that apartment.
Well, from you guys' perspective, why would I hurt or make the mother of my children disappear?
Because you're pissed.
I don't know that. Maybe it just happened. I don't know, but more happened, Adam. And I'm not saying that on a whim. I'm saying that based on the last 30 hours that we've spent on this case. Adam, you gotta live too. And I just think you're holding back here. You know more.
No, I don't. I don't know. Maddie and I do not have any history of violence besides emotional.
Unfortunately, that's not what I heard either.
We've never laid hands on each other or anything like that. So why someone would say that, I don't know. I know I can tell you.
I don't. I'm struggling because you guys went home. Her jacket was in the house. Her bag for work was there.
Where was her phone? Did you guys ever find her phone?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So why would she leave all that behind?
Why?
And no vehicle is gone, and her jacket is there. I'm stuck there, and then you leave a couple hours later, and I'm just having a hard time with it.
Adam, do you know that there's like some zip ties or something in the back of your van?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
I think we have that like in the storage compartment or something like that back there where she has other materials that.
Okay.
It's just stuff that we keep in the van.
Okay. What do you use those for?
I don't know why I didn't put those there.
Okay.
It probably would have been something. Oh, maybe because a couple weekends ago she took the van up to her dad's. Her dad put a new oil pan. Some kind of major repair he did on the engine. And I know he had to zip tie something. Maddie mentioned he had to zip tie some vacuum hoses or something together. Maybe that's what it was from.
Okay.
But I've never personally used.
Police would locate CCTV along the route Adam said he drove that day, just to determine, what he said he was doing. Hey, you tell the truth there, buddy, or, slow your roll there. Let's just trust but verify, as they say. Verify, don't trust, because can I shock you? He was lying. From 9:45 to 10 a.m. that morning, a person outside Maddie and Adam's home was observed tinkering with Maddie's minivan's license plate. It was Adam, and he was switching the minivan's plate with his own car's license plate. Police would be able to say that when they saw that car later, when the searches began, he had switched them back. Why would he switch the two cars' license plates unless he didn't want them to be scanned by police systems or toll booths or something like that? Following the footage, they saw him drive to a gas station, then return to his home at 10:30 a.m. Then at 11:26 a.m., he drove away again. The minivan was seen driving towards where he said he had been going, Mabel, though already the timeline is off by about an hour. The security camera footage isn't complete. There are some blank spots in where he'd been going that day, but the minivan left his home at 11:26 a.m., drove towards Mabel, but then at 12:44 p.m., it was seen driving back towards Winona. Following the security camera footage, there's a 45-minute gap in that day when nobody really knows where Adam was. From 11:59 a.m. on that footage, it was seen driving south, but then at 12:45 p.m., it was seen driving back north. So in that 45-minute span, nobody knows where he was. But the police seeing this footage, which, he's already lying. They've already caught him in a lie with his timeline being off. The police actually drove that exact same route that they seen him do on the cameras, and it was pretty accurate. As in, it would have taken that much time to drive this route. What I mean by that is it didn't seem like he stopped off anywhere for long or didn't go on any detours or anything like that. If he did something, dumped something, whatever along this route, he did it fast. So had Maddie or a body been, in there.
Timeline is off, and these text messages where you're kind of suddenly worried about her, they don't make sense, and they almost seem like they're intentional. They almost seem like they're breadcrumbs that you knew the police would pick up.
Okay.
And I'm trying to work with you here. Again,
I'm just saying now I'm not going to say much because now my wall is up and I'm probably going to have to get a lawyer. I'm feeling really accused and stuff. So,
Okay.
You can ask what you want and I'll answer. I'm just saying I'm putting up my defense now. I've been working with you guys completely, but now I'm getting accused of stuff, so
All I can say to that is we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't try to do
I get that too. I get that too, so...
Only because, I'll reiterate again, you were the last one to have seen her. You were the last one to be in the house at the same time to be able to go in and access to your house. You had access to your cars. You went home with her. And so that's why. There's that. I don't know.
I'm just as confused as you guys, you know what I mean? And I know, I get it, I'm a suspect, when we recently broke up and everything, I get it. But I'm completely compliant. Right?
Yeah, you've been great. You've been cooperative, absolutely. And I appreciate that.
Whatever you
Thank
guys
you
need.
for that. I'm struggling with where she went.
I know.
And you know the most important thing about that whole interrogation to me, y'all, was the fact that the police or the investigators actually caught him in a couple of lies. You know what I'm saying? From the whole time frame of his so-called trip to drop off whatever he's supposed to been dropping off at his mama house or whatever. You know, that whole 45-minute gap and all that, and how it was really off an hour compared to what time he told them. That was one lie. But another lie that they caught him in too was when he was lying, talking about we was never physical. Like, yeah, we'll argue, but we never like put hands on each other. When you got multiple witnesses saying that they know that you didn't put hands on Maddie before. You got one person saying that they was literally on FaceTime when you was putting hands on her. Like, dude, we know you lying about this ish, and if you're lying about this, then you more than likely could be potentially lying about that too. Where the freak is Maddie, man? You know, and then I'm thinking, Bean Team, that we got our guy. It is Adam, that one who murdered her and kidnapped her and the cause of her disappearance and everything. But I'm just sitting right there looking at him, just seeing all them lies come out his mouth, and the only thing I can think about is his kids. Bro, you killed your kids, mama. Like, you don't care nothing about that part of it. You killed your wife, did whatever with her body, then went, not wife, baby mama and all that. You did that to her, then later on that day went and got your kids like nothing is wrong, and they wondering where mommy at. That is so effed up.
The search continued, with the Kingsbury family offering a $50,000 reward. And a number of Maddie's friends, they would come forward to the police, and they all had, interestingly, the very same story about Adam Fravel. And it was about a certain interest of his. His interest was Gabby Petito. He was obsessed, infatuated, are his words, with the case of Gabby Petito. Him and Maddie had watched some news special about the case. Remember when it happened back in autumn of 2021? It was everywhere. And ever since then, it was Adam's crazed obsession. Beginning in the summer of 2021, 22-year-old Gabby Petito and her fiancé, 23-year-old Brian Laundrie, were doing the van life thing across the USA, documenting it on their YouTube channel, Nomadic Static.
Gabby Petito never goes outside.
Mid-August 2021, in Moab, Utah, Gabby and Brian were driving and had pulled over. Passers-by witnessed Brian slap Gabby and reported the altercation to the police, who followed up with them both.
You want to place your vehicle into park and go ahead and turn it off for me? No, park? Oh, it isn't park yet. Okay, turn off your engine. Go ahead and set your keys on the dash for me, all right? What's your guys' names?
Gabby.
Brian. Gabby, Brian? Okay. What's going on? How come you're crying?
I'm just sorry. We've just been fighting this morning. Some personal issues. I was distracting him from driving. I'm sorry.
Can I get you to step out of the vehicle for me, man?
Yeah.
Just hang tight right there.
This body cam has become pretty much almost sort of infamous, as some have argued it was a case of police missing the signs of domestic abuse, that they could have stepped in more to protect Gabby and could have prevented what would eventually happen.
So, tell me what's going on.
She just gets worked up sometimes, and I try and really distance myself from her, so like I lock the car and I walk away from her.
You want to tell me about those scratches on your face?
She had a cell phone in her hand, that's why I was pushing her away. She got me.
You want to tell me about hitting that curb?
Hitting the curb was her grabbing the wheel.
She grabbed the wheel?
Yeah. She said, I can't believe we're getting pulled over, and then she grabbed the wheel.
Quick question, you said you were hitting him in the arm. Did you grab the steering wheel?
No, I didn't.
You did not touch the steering wheel?
But only for like a second, because I just saw the lights come on, and it was more just like, you're an idiot. Like, you know.
But did you grab the steering wheel and like swerve or anything like that?
No.
Police sorta seem to kind of side with Brian's gaslighting of the situation, and they determined that Gabby was at fault and was having some kind of breakdown. That's how the case was classified at the time. Mental breakdown, not domestic violence.
I saw him shove her, but I couldn't tell if it was an aggression against her or a defense against her, as far as her, you know, being the aggressor. So at this point, unless the guy's screaming that he needs to go to jail and did something to this girl, it sounds to me like she is the primary aggressor.
Yeah.
Of course, we all tragically know that only 2 weeks later, Brian murdered Gabby in the Bridger-Teton National Forest. After weeks of extensive searching, she was finally found. About 2 months later, and after this case went worldwide, there was a manhunt and it was everywhere. Brian was found to have shot himself in a nature reserve in his native Florida.
Wow.
And Adam was like obsessed with this story. He had big love heart eyes for this story, to the point where one time he grabbed Maddie, pinned her down to the ground, pinning her throat, and said if she wasn't careful, she would end up like Gabby Petito. Perfectly normal thing to say. She would message this to a friend after he joked about me ending up like Gabby Petito if I don't learn to mind. It wasn't funny. That's what sealed it for me when I kicked him out last year during one of their off-again moments. And I thought I could get past all the trauma, but really I was doing it for him and the kids. Do you think my kids will be okay? Now, Maddie never reported any of this to police or anything. She was scared of him, but worried for him. Even though friends of hers were telling her to mention this to police. You don't even have to have him arrested. The police should just be aware of this domestic violence incident. Her own father, Maddie's father, said, "He's gonna kill you, you know." Her father had actually not spoken to Adam in a long time because Maddie's dad hated Adam's guts. He was a piece of shit.
You're infatuated with the Gabby Petito story, your own words.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, when the manhunt stuff was going on.
My biggest fear right now is that this is...
No, I get it.
This is mimicking that case.
I get it.
And the guy that's infatuated that case is sitting right in front of me. And he's doing a really good job keeping it together, and I'm not buying it.
I'm not either.
And I'm not... I just want to find her.
No.
For your kids.
For your kids, man. More importantly than anything. Like, he don't give a F about his children.
You know, I'm really not okay with or over the fact that you put your hands around my neck and pushed me down in front of the kids earlier, so don't. Not okay with it at all, but especially with them there. You'll adjust. The fuck I will. You do that again without asking me and you can go somewhere else. You got it, mother. Don't patronize me, that crossed the line. Then mind. Stop.
Like I said, Adam, your own admission, you're infatuated with the Gabby Petito story. This case is rearing some eerily similar circumstances.
Of course, when the police asked him about the Gabby Petito thing, because it had just been brought up so much, the police, they had to ask him. Adam just downplayed it. It was just, duh, it was a joke. It was a joke. I was just playing around, just goofing around. It was a bad joke. I mean, yeah, probably don't want to write that one down, but it was just a joke. He said he hugged her. No pinning of the throat. You must be joking. Don't know what. People are telling you stories. Don't worry about that.
She also said that you made a commentary that if she doesn't listen, that she's going to end up like Gabby Petito. That's what she told several people, and we interviewed those people, and they told us that individually, not having talked with each other.
Yep, I know what you're talking about. So this was a it's gonna sound so bad. This was when that was going down. When I don't know when this Gabby Petito thing happened again, 2020 or something like that. But I just remember I was infatuated with the case. It was just it was a man like it was just into the news on it. And I can remember it very vividly. I went outside. I think I put trash outside or something. I came back in, and then I came up behind her and I hugged her. And it was so stupid. I was just trying to make a joke, but I hugged her behind her and I said, "You don't want to end up like Gabby Petito, do you?" And I know that was really bad. That was a really stupid joke, but it was honestly just a joke for a moment, and inappropriate. But yeah, this was when that was happening. Nothing like that. No, this is when that case was going on.
And hold on, man. How he expect us to believe him right now, being team, when we know the history of the abuse that he done did to this to Maddie, from other people. So we really supposed to be thinking you was just joking around when you said that, when you already infatuated with the ish. And just the fact y'all seen them text messages that he was sending to her and going back and forth, and how he said you need the mind, and just how controlling, and how he just was trying to take over the relationship or whatever and make her do everything that he say, and being violent. She said in the text message something like, you threw me down to the floor, don't do that again, and all that. So bro, we know there's a history of violence here. Then you say make one of the most ridiculous jokes ever, and it's in quotation marks because it wasn't no joke, and you want us to believe that ish, but you still want us to believe it was a joke. Okay, make sense of the senseless being team. You can't.
You guys joking around that day, or you have to be wrong that day? What was it like that day?
No, like I said, it was literally just a joke, and it was just, it's, you know.
Yeah, it's not a very good joke.
I know, and it makes you look bad. I get that. Yeah, that's just the truth. I don't know what else to say.
I appreciate explaining this.
Yeah, right. Because this happened. It was at the townhouse, in townhouse. I don't remember what year.
When she told the other people, she said it occurred during a time when you guys were a possible breakup, and that's when you made that statement.
I won't say that.
Well, that's what she's saying to her friends.
Okay.
And you said she doesn't lie, and it sounds like she tells you to your face that she's seeing someone new.
Yeah.
So
what?
So I mean, that's a pretty interesting statement that she's making, and I'm trying to learn about her through her words to other people, through her phone, through her coworkers, through her friends, through her family, through you. And I can tell you that it appears that this relationship was not going super well, to the point that she's wanting to get out of there as soon as possible.
I would agree with the last thing you just said about wanting to get out of there as soon as possible, because if that was the case, it would have happened a while ago.
And this was all sort of leaking more and more, you know, from friends, family, everybody, kind of all eyes on Adam. And he wasn't helping out in the searches. His presence was noticed, or his lack of presence was noticed at press conferences, boots on the ground. You know, it was like he was actively avoiding people, like he got something to hide. It was then on April 12th, 12 days after Maddie had last been seen, that Adam had to put out a statement via his attorney saying, "I'm not the bad guy here, come on." Over the course of the last 12 days, my family and I have been subject to a myriad of accusations regarding the disappearance of the mother of my children, Maddie Kingsbury. During these last 12 days, I have cooperated with law enforcement at every turn, including sitting down for multiple interviews with Winona County law enforcement. I did not have anything to do with Maddie's disappearance. I want the mother of my 5-year-old and 2-year-old to be found and brought home safely. I want that more than anything. Law enforcement advised me on April 2nd that they would not recommend that I attend the press conferences or that I assist in the searches due to safety concerns. However, my non-attendance and silence has been inferred by many as a sign of apathy, or worse. That could not be further from the truth. I want Maddie home and for her to be able to be with our 2 children. God bless the Kingsbury family, and please bring her home safely.
Due to safety concerns, that's your reasoning for not showing up to help look for your baby mama and to go to the press conferences and ish? And you really want me to think the police told you that for safety? What, because somebody may kill you who is outraged about her disappearance? Mother, if they wanted to kill you, they'll do it. They'll pull up to your house. They wouldn't just wait till you was out at a damn press conference in front of the news station and all that. You get what? Like this, man, I'm not finna. Like I said earlier, man, you can't make sense of the senseless.
Sadly, that would not be the case. It was on June 7th, 2023, 1 week after Maddie's 27th birthday, that after 2 months of scouring the Minnesotan wilderness, a deputy was searching a rural area next to a gravel road, and he made a discovery. This was on property near the road between Choice and Mabel, property maintained by a Fravel family member, and not far from Adam Fravel's parents. It was in a lonely little culvert, you know, those pipes that go under roads connecting like ditches, that this deputy saw what looked like a stuffed bedsheet. It was a grey fitted bedsheet, closed over like with black Gorilla Tape. The tape was similar to one that had been seen in the Kingsbury Fravel address. The bedsheet was one that appeared to be missing from a bed in the home, and inside that bedsheet were the remains of Madeleine Kingsbury. She was identified via dental records and tattoos. A knotted towel had been wrapped around her neck. The medical examiner announced this to be a homicide. The very same day, Adam Fravel was arrested at his parents' home and charged with second-degree murder.
My sister Madeline, who's been missing since March 31st of this year from Winona, her ex, Adam Fravel, has officially been arrested. Finally, he's been arrested. He is at Winona County Jail right now. And I'm not ready to say a lot right now. We're kind of waiting on some more information right now. But yes, I can confirm he has been arrested. More details to come.
His bond was set at $1 million, and Adam pleaded not guilty to the charges. In October, a few months later, his charge was upgraded to first-degree murder. Adam, as you can imagine, was he's a very tech-savvy fella. Like, he studied this in college, he had his work, he sat around playing video games all day, he was having a grand old time, so he knew how to digitally cover his tracks. And as you know, he's already, enjoys a bit of the old true crime, as he was obsessed with the Gabby Petito case. So on March 30th, he turned off all location tracking data on his iCloud, his iPhone, his car GPS, everything. He even disabled advertising trackers on his phone. He did this on March 30th, the day before Maddie disappeared. He also took down any cameras in any of the homes, that he visited, in his own home and his parents' home, but there was no real digital evidence, but there was still physical evidence. The items found with Maddie's remains were all from the home. The tape, the bedsheet, and then the police searching Adam Fravel's parents' house. In the bin, in the dump out back, they found a few of her electronic items and one burned laptop. What are you setting fire to a laptop for? 10 days after Maddie vanished, a neighbor of Adam Fravel's parents, remember Maddie's body was found near her parents. Well, a neighbor of theirs said that on his trail cam, 10 days after she disappeared, on his trail cam he had set out there, in the woods out back, he said he saw Adam out there, captured him on his trail cam in a UTV, those off-road vehicles, driving along through the woods with a shovel in the back of it. The police later found that shovel cadaver dogs woofed, whatever they do. Why was he driving around in the woods near where Maddie's body would be found in a utility terrain vehicle with a shovel? Had he moved her body? See, Adam, as you know, Adam had been abusive for many, 7 years, which is a few. He had been abusive for many years, and so when Maddie was Audi 5000, he was not gonna have that. He didn't have a job. He didn't do jack shit. She was a sole breadwinner, and so when she said, "I'm moving out, I'm taking the kids with me," got a new fella, what was he going to do? Move back in with his parents, I guess. And especially when she started seeing Spencer, a guy who had been in the same fraternity he had been in, he was fuming. He was always demanding to see her phone, to be able to read all of her text messages. Anytime Maddie went to spend time with Spencer at his place, she had to turn off the location tracking because Adam would only see where she was and text her non-stop, demanding, attention. She wasn't even allowed to say Spencer's name in Adam's presence, or else he'd blow a gasket. His obsession with another murder case, Gabby Petito, it all probably led him down a dark path. And then, of course, there was also...
Oh my God. Are you serious, man?
Well, kind of, sort of. Okay, so she didn't exactly have life insurance per se, but she did have at work a death benefit, which is sort of similar like life insurance. I mean, life insurance is like a private policy you get. This was attached to her occupation, a death benefit, and her, family, her kids, probably Adam as her partner, would get some of that death benefit. Death benefit to the tune, ladies and gentlemen, of $170,000. He was licking his...
Once again, man, that guy, we were just talking about this on Mr. Ballin' Sunday, man. That money will make people do some evil things, man. Mike came out of nowhere with that life insurance. I wasn't even thinking about it, and it's not technically life insurance. It's death benefit that I never heard of before until now, but Mike just educated me on it. But it's still the same thing, man. He probably was looking forward to getting that money too, because he wasn't worth a damn. Ain't have no job, about to get put out by her and go either be on the streets or gonna have to take his overgrown ass back to his parents' home. You know what I'm saying, man? Oh my God. It strikes once again, Bean Team. It never freaking fails.
His shops when he saw that. He had no job, his only source of income was leaving him. So I guess he thought that would come in handy. I could probably use a bit of that myself. So all of these facts made it seem premeditated, that he had planned the murder of Maddie Kingsbury. He had begun it the day before, disabling all of his location tracking. What exactly happened that morning in the house, we don't know, because she was there dropping off the kids. But then when I got home, what happened? We don't know. He attacked her, choked her to death, maybe. We can only sort of guess. How exactly he killed her and disposed of her body, we don't know. Did he move her body? It's possible. Maybe he tried to dig a grave and couldn't. There's a few gaps in this story. Gaps like the timeline, gaps like the CCTV of where his car had been going. Gaps that may never be filled as Adam pleaded his innocence. His trial began in autumn of 2024. I just went through the prosecution's case, all their evidence they had, trying to nail him. The defense, all they really had was, well, you know what, you zeroed in on Adam for the start. Did you investigate Ace Ventura? How do we know he didn't do this? At the end of the trial, the jury came back with a guilty on all counts verdict. It seemed clear from the get-go that this was only ever going to go one way. On December 17th, 2024, Adam Fravel was sentenced to life in prison. He still pleaded his innocence to the end.
I never caused harm to Maddie, and I am innocent. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Sure, buddy.
And there you have it. That is the story of Madeline Kingsbury and Adam Fravel. A sad and twisted story of, well, in Adam's case. I mean, in Madeline's case, an amazing person. Awesome person. And in Adam's case, a very sad and twisted, individual. He really started shitting himself when the walls started closing in on him, but his excuses are pretty shocking. It's like watching Liar 101 with him in those interview cases. But I guess, you know what? He's got an entire lifetime to think about it now.
Yep.
Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate being here with me watching this whole video, folks. It always means a lot to me. So if you're looking for some more of That Chapter, please check out the That Chapter Patreon, where for $2 a month you get early access to all videos, and there's a Patreon playlist of exclusive Patreon-only videos. You can also check out the That Chapter podcast. Brand new episode out every single Monday. It's all podcast exclusive stories, so you can check it out there. This week we're talking about Carl Panzram. If you can believe that. Recently we talked about such cases like the Oklahoma Girl Scout murders. We've done so many episodes I've kind of forgotten them. The Lake Bodom murders, the Hi-Fi murders, Gordon Cummins, the Blackout Ripper, the Bloody Benders, Tube Sock killings, Jennifer Fairgate, Keith Jesperson, the Happy Face Killer, Herb Baumeister, Robert Hansen, Mothman, Daniel LaPlante, Daniel Hold'em, the Sedagaya family murders, Jared Schaefer, Butcher of Blind Creek, and a shitload more. And of course, you can check out the That Chapter merch is just down below. I'm really, really happy with it. I gotta shoot like an ad and put it in one of these videos. I'll do that at some point. But please check out the merch, I love it. So give that a go. But until the next Soul video, please take care of each other. And please take care of yourselves, folks. Because I love ya. Mike out.
It is always a delight when we get to come back to Mike Bean team, and I'm glad, man. I'm glad because I was out. It was two major things that I was worried about in this case at one point in time, which y'all already know. Number one was I started to worry like, is she gonna actually be found? Or this gonna be one of those cases where she was never found. Thank God that her family can at least have that closure to know that she was found, man. And rest in peace to Maddie, man. Hate she had to even be involved with this guy, period. But rest in peace to her. Then the other thing I was worrying about was, is he gonna get life in prison or not? And he literally got it, y'all. And it really wasn't a lot of like physical evidence that was pointing him exactly to doing the crime, but and I'm not gonna go back through all of it, but all the different things that he had did, which shows you that it was premeditated. Like him turning off his locations the day before and stuff like that, him literally driving on that trail where her body was found, him goddamn being caught on one of the dudes who property was close to where Maddie's body was found, getting captured on one of his cameras with a shovel in the back. Like, it's so many different things. And I know I said I wasn't finna go all the way back through it, but it's just them just a couple of them, I guess, man. Y'all know the rest of them. There's a lot of different things that point to this man doing this ish, even if we just don't have that outright 100% concrete evidence being seen. It gotta be him, the one who did it. And you can tell that he one of the ones that he tried to cover up his tracks as best as he can, man. But in the end, no, bro, it's too many coincidences. Then your whole freaking lying ass, you a freaking liar. Like the police, the investigators catching you in lies. So that's giving us even more reason not to believe anything that's coming out of your mouth. I think it was him being seen. The title had me confused at first when it said secret of mom's disappearance. I'm thinking, Mike talking about his one of her children did, you know what I'm saying? But no, it was like the mother to his kids. I guess that's what he meant. But I digress, big team. Let me stop rambling, man, because I know we have been here long enough, man. I appreciate y'all coming on back as always. And before you leave, as always, just please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and do all that if you ain't did that yet. And remember this: love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.